Hello YouTube, today we're looking at the 55-gallon breeding fish for profit aquarium. So stay tuned, we'll get an update. I know this is like one of my most requested videos is updates on the breeding fish for profit. So we're doing this month's update, so stay tuned. So as you know, when I'm doing the updates on this tank, I usually do a water change, and I'll get to that in just a second, but I wanted to get a look beforehand, and then maybe if anyone is interested, they could see and compare afterwards what it looks like after the water change. I don't know why. You can definitely see the water is kind of cloudy, and there has actually been some changes. For the first time in this tank, there are some changes, and the big change, first of all, is that there's a lot less adult guppies, and I'll talk about that when we're doing the water change. Alright, I got the water pump in there. You can see we're pumping out the water. I normally do normally I try to keep up with it and do 50% water changes every 2 to 3 days, but I think it's been 4 days, that's why it's a little hazy, so I'm going to do a little bit bigger water change today. But while that's going on, we'll just kind of zoom in and around and kind of tell you the story of what actually changed in this tank. So one thing you may or may not notice, people who follow this playlist or video series, whatever you want to call it, is that there's actually a lot less guppies in here. And what happened is probably like the end of May or the beginning of June, right then and there, I came out here at like 11 o'clock at night because I have my pleco tank right up here, and I always feed them at night so I can see them. They come out pretty much the only time I see them, right? But I looked down here because there's a little bit, you know, there's moonlights in the fish room and I can kind of see, and I saw nothing swimming in the water column, and I was like, that's really, really weird. So I turned on the light for just this tank and saw that just about every single guppy was dead. I think there was maybe a dozen adults left. They were just all down here. It was a travesty. It was a nightmare. I immediately did like a 90% water change. All the plecos, see, all the plecos are still here. There's still a billion shrimp throughout here. It only affected the guppies, and I would say maybe like 30 or 40 fry survived. But every single adult, except for, like I said, about a dozen of them, were all dead on the bottom. And there was just a billion snails. That's one of the reasons why there's so many snails now, simply because they were eating all the dead guppies. So I still don't know what happened. I mean, it was instant. I was just in the tank earlier that day. I didn't do a water change or anything, but I did put food in there. And it's been so long now. I mean, I threw the food away, and I don't know that I would name the food even if I remembered what it was. I used like 100 different types of food, but I dumped food in there like that night, and then, well, that evening, and then that night everything was dead. So I'm thinking it was just bad food. I feel bad for Flynn's Fish Forum because he was actually coming a couple days later, driving down from Canada, and I was going to give him some of these guppies, and not knowing why they all died, I couldn't just give him a bag full of sick fish, even though none of them. If you remember last month's video, there was one that was kind of derpy, but it was really old. Like, you could tell it was really old. I mean, other than that, I really think it was the food. I can't explain why the shrimp didn't die or the plecos didn't die, but as you can see now, the guppies have all rebounded. I've got tons of fry in here now, especially over here in the guppy grass. So obviously, I mean, I treated the tank with ICX, General Cure, erythromycin, doing water changes every 2 days, you know, just following the directions of the medications. But yeah, it was just really, really bizarre. It sucked. I didn't even want to do a video on it because I was like so just angry, and I figured I'd give it some time, let it settle down. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they're just guppies, but you know, even guppies are fish, and I still love them just as much as my other fish. Well, okay, let's not get too carried away. Probably not as much as my rainbow fish and my cyprichromis, but I keep them. I obviously like them, so I was still kind of, you know, angry and sad and kind of disappointed that I couldn't, you know, give some fish to Flynn's Fish Forum, which is a YouTube channel. If you don't know who that is, I'll link it at the end of this video, so definitely check them out. But yeah, here's a nice big male down here. So something actually changed in this tank, and it wasn't for the better. Like I said earlier, this is like the most requested video of like all time. Like, I'll put this video out, I don't know when this is gonna get released, probably like a Wednesday video, and by Thursday I'll have people asking for updates on this tank. So I don't get it, but at least something finally changed, even if it was for the worst. We're gonna have a lot of guppies on next month's update though. I mean, you can just see there's just a ton of them in here, a ton of fry, so that's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna wait for the rest of this water to change, and then I'll check back in. That was my spiel, my story. But definitely stick around to the end so you can see how much better this is gonna look with the new water. It's a pretty big difference. Okay, filling water back up, major fail. I had the return hose, like, I just dumped it in there and it buried into the gravel. I turned it on and it stirred up all the gravel. So, not gonna look that great. However, this is prime snail hunting time, and now that I trust this tank to be clean again, I'm going to grab some of these snails for little Steen, my MBU Puffer. Got all kinds of them up here. Oh yeah. Gonna have a good meal today. Just putting them in this little cup here. Grab a bunch of them. Hopefully I can get enough to where you won't actually eat them all. Have some leftovers for later tonight. Just picking them up by the handfuls. Definitely the best time to go snail hunting. Let's see. Ooh, here's a nice big one right here. Another one right here. That one's not very big, but it's big enough. Hands just covered in shrimp. Put your hand in here and the shrimp just jump on you immediately. See? Of course they're not going to do it now. Of course. Well, kinda. Couple brave souls there. But I'm going to get this one and get all the snails off, or get all the shrimp off me. Alright, here's a bunch of them. Let's see if they'll do it. Come on, there they go. Yeah, clean my skin. It's like I'm exfoliating, right? I don't even know what that means, but I think it means something about cleaning skin. I'm not gonna lie, it feels pretty good too. Ooh, look at the little baby there. Little baby shrimp. Alright, so we're gonna feed little Steen the MBU Puffer while this tank is filling up with water. And I do have some positive news on this guy. As you know, I thought he had tapeworms. I've been treating it for about a month, and look at his belly. It's nice and fat. And I'm not an expert on puffer fish, but I'm pretty sure that's a good sign. All the other videos that I looked at, he never really had a belly until after he ate. So I think he might actually be fattening up now, and I think that's a good sign. So let's drop in some snails. I gotta zoom out so I can actually walk up to the tank and give everyone motion sickness. As you can see, he is hungry. He's waiting for his meal. Ooh, top down. This might be interesting, or it might completely fail. Yeah, that was fail. I think I scared him. Come on. Not even banging on your tank this time. Oh, snails, get out of there. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna have to move back. Spooked him a little. Come on, I was just bragging about you. I gotta beg you every time, I don't know why. I swear, when I'm not filming, he just mows these suckers down before they even hit the bottom. I wish I could get close enough to hear the cracking. Every once in a while I can hear it, but I don't think the camera picks it up. Ooh, maybe that one. That one was pretty loud. Maybe I should just shut up. Yeah, now his belly's getting even bigger. But yeah, I think that's a really, really good sign that he has a belly before eating. What are you looking at me for? I'm not doing anything. Don't be mean mugging me. I'm the one that gave you all those snails, buddy. Just watching in silence. Oh, Rainbow, you almost got a kiss of death there. Dude. That guy has heart, I'll tell you what. Or he's just an idiot. One of the two. Alright, so as you can see, the water is full, and we still have the haze. This time the haze is the micro bubbles. You can see floating around in there, and you really got to be careful with the micro bubbles because they will cause an increase in pH, and it can be pretty drastic. So if you're running your tank at like 6 or 6.5 pH and you do a water change and you have all these micro bubbles, it'll actually raise your pH quite a bit. Now my pH in this tank is pretty high already at about 7.5. Well, I mean that's not super high, but with the micro bubbles it only gets up to about 8. So it's not like a big swing. So the fish don't really have a problem in this tank, but in some of my other tanks where I have the pH in the low 6s, if I start getting the micro bubbles, then I really got to be careful. Normally I only get the micro bubbles when I use hot water out of the tap, which I normally don't have to do this time of year, but it has been pretty cold the last week or so, so the water out of the tap is pretty cold as well. So let's talk numbers. You can see the Bristlenose Pleco is still in here. The other one got out. Oh shit. Alright, look at this nice little mess I had. I forgot I was doing a water change on the tub here for the jewel cichlid, and yeah, that's pretty sweet. So I gotta clean up a mess real quick. Time to get out the shop vac. So this is why I have a very specific rule about not filming while I'm doing water changes, because of this right here, and I broke that rule. And yeah, as you can see, I got all the towels down, I got most of it vacuumed up, and now I'm just kind of stepping on it, and luckily it didn't overflow on the back, because look at that. I mean, is that an awesome wiring job or not? Like, that's pretty sweet. So if you don't know, I actually rent this house, and the homeowner does watch these videos, so hopefully he skips through me spilling all this water on the brand new carpet he put in this room before I made it a fish room. So, oh boy. But I gotta get back to cleaning, and then we'll get back on track with the video. See, look at that, nothing to see here. Dry as can be. Got the dehumidifier running, can't even tell. Right? Nothing ever happened there. Well, maybe right there. Alright, look at this huge female Bristlenose Pleco here. That's a good 6 inches right there. The people that say Bristlenose Plecos don't get that big, there you go. Because you thought that one was big? Look at that one. That's a huge sucker right there. But anyways, I don't remember what I was talking about. It's been so long. So let's just talk numbers. Hopefully that's what we were talking about. This is breeding fish for profit. People always want to know how much I get. I can't give you like a monthly figure because I don't trade them in every month. Maybe weekly. I used to do weekly. Oh, never mind. That's actually a male. But anyways, I used to do weekly, and then I did bi-weekly, and then sometimes 3 times a week, or 3 times a week, every 3 weeks. So it varies. So I can't really give you a monthly figure. But I can tell you specifics on the plecos. I get $2.50 each. The guppies, I get $1.50 each. And then the cherry shrimp, I usually just scoop out like 40 or 50, and then, you know, hey, say, just give me a couple packs of frozen food and call it good. Because I certainly don't have any shortage of cherry shrimp, as you can see. And then we can talk tank specifics, because there's a lot of new people, and maybe they haven't seen this series yet. But besides the substrate being a 1/2 inch of poop, below that is Eco Complete Fluorite crushed coral. You can see that's the white stuff over here. Lighting is just the cheap $30 or $40 Costco LED strip light. No heater. This runs at about 72 degrees. Food is a lot of Rapashi, cobalt algae, the spirulina flake, and then what is it? The Tetra color granules. That's like the staple that goes in here. But every once in a while I'll throw in, you know, freeze-dried food, other types of flake, other types of pellets, wafers. So, but those 3 are kind of the major 3 that go in here. Pretty basic filtration. Got the biggest sponge filter. That's like the 7 or 8 inch sponge filter on that side, and then just the 4 inch jobby over there. And all these sponge filters I save for setting up new tanks and getting an instant cycle, so that's why they are in there. What else? I don't think there's much more I can talk about with this tank. Maybe check out some of the older videos and you can see how this tank has progressed, especially like the very first video. It's quite a bit different when this tank used to be just completely full of guppy grass, and I've kind of changed over to moss because the guppy grass just grows way too fast and becomes unmanageable. But there's still actually 2 of them in there. and they might be tangled. I might have to get them out of there because they haven't really moved much in the last couple days. I'll probably get those out of there as soon as I'm done filming. That can't be good. Alright folks, that's going to do it for this month's update on the Breeding Fish for Profit tank. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got videos every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, live stream on Mondays, so definitely subscribe because you don't want to miss it. It's a lot of fun, and I'll see everyone next time.